Thank you, Shri Tattva USA, and also thank you so much, Ami, for giving me this opportunity. As you all know, this is a very close subject to my heart because I always strongly believe that if we need a good nation or a good future, we need to work from the base, and that is with having the best pregnancy or pregnancy or having a good child with a good quality. So previous of our session, we started with some of the information about Garbha Sanskara. So where I show the pre-work of before the conception, what mothers should do. Now today with our presentation, we'll start the another information, the second layer of the pregnancy, that what mothers should eat, what mothers should behave, what mothers should do to have a great child for the future. So Ayurveda considers food to be the best source of nourishment as well as a medication for the pregnant woman. The 9-monthly diet designed in Ayurveda is very unique. Each and every month, the mother should eat different kind of food to nourish the child and also to strengthen herself. So when we talk about Ayurveda, as we all know, it's like a big ocean. So many subjects is that. And there is a one particular subject about Prasuti Tantra or the pregnancy and during the pregnancy care. I remember on my 3rd year of my Ayurveda degree, we study whole subject on the pregnancy and pregnancy care, where we talk about what mothers should eat, what can be the disease can affect the upcoming baby, how mother's stress and lifestyle affect the upcoming baby. So today I want to share most of the information as much as I can squeeze in within 30 minutes. So the Garbhini Paricharya is basically, Garbhini means pregnant and Paricharya means the day-to-day lifestyle. So Garbhini Paricharya is the combination of Ahar means diet, Vihar means lifestyle, Vichara means the psychological aspect, and also the mental state of the mother of each 9 months. The Acharya Charaka says that take care of the female is like handling the vessel full of the oil, which is like totally filled up the oil, and you really not want to drop a single drop out of the bowl. And just the pregnant woman should be taken care that way, that the single drop of that oil is also so precious that the woman should not affect in the diet wise or might be emotionally or psychology in that factor. Even in this modern era, if you see, there is the mother death ratio during the pregnancy is very, very high. So when you incorporate Ayurveda, even with your modern care, modern medicine care, or any of the other care, you see we can really work a lot with sustainability of the pregnancy and also the liveliness or the prolonged life of the mother as well. And also maternal stress affect the baby. And now also the research says that mother's stress affect the hormone of the baby. So when mother is too much in stress, its baby can affect with the ADHD or hyperactivity or preeclampsia. Even sometimes the malnourishment into the mother's womb can lead you to the heart disease into the future. So many of the research going on, and even modern science is now agree at one point that mother's care is not just limited to physical health, but also the mental and emotional health. So let's start with the pregnancy care with each and every month. So if you see here is what the first month baby growth. In Ayurveda, it says, in the traditional text, they have written, Pratham Mase Kalala Jayate. It means the first month is where there is just a gelatinous specter, which is just an ovum and semen, and there is only the combination of that, which is the gelatinous form. So in Ayurveda, it says that the first month is where there is only the gelatinous formation. Modern science also agree with that, and it says that embryo takes a form of a jelly. And baby size is just a very small. If you see, just like a poppy seed, the baby is very, very small. And in Ayurveda, Maharshi Charaka says that this is the time of conception when milk is the best support. Why milk? Definitely in today's time, it doesn't look milk and dairy at very good perspective just because of the way they are treating the hormones we are giving to the milk. But in previous time, if you see, the milk is the easiest form of protein, easily digestible, cooling, nourishing. So that way there is a lot of priority of milk during the pregnancy. So if you are very conscious about hormone, I would prefer go for organic milk or A2 milk. If you have intolerance with the milk, then go for just a non-dairy milk, right? And you can use it during the pregnancy. But as soon as mother realize that she is pregnant, or there are chances of having a pregnancy, it's better to start intake of milk. So I highly prefer A2 milk or organic milk. But if you are sensitive to dairy, you can use coconut milk or almond milk or rice milk or oat milk. So any milk is very good cooling and very good effective for the mother in first trimester. If you see the second month, when the baby started growing little bigger. So from the poppy seed, it now become the size of the kidney bean. So in Ayurveda, it says that this is the time where embryo starts shaping up. If it's a solid mass, oval shape, it's usually the male child. And if it's like a peshi or elongated, it is like the female child. And even Acharya Harita, that is another scholar of Ayurveda, he says that within 15 days of the pregnancy, the upcoming child or baby has all the birds of future parts in embryo. So it means all the organs, all the limbs, everything started is very small but size into the second month. And eyes, nose, lips, tongue, ears, if you see, everything usually started building up in a small zone, but in this time. Modern science perspective is also very similar. It says that this is the time where everything started developing. Though it's not noticeable with the normal eye or hard to see everything in the normal scan, but it started developing from this time. Baby started moving, of course, but this is very tiny baby at this time. So you can't feel the movement. None of the mother can feel the movement at this time. But the sign of life started from the second month. It's the growth of the baby is only 24 to 30 mm, and its weight is about 1 to 2 grams at the end of the second month. So it's a very small, but definitely the growth started happening in just 2 cells together from whorl cell. Now it started having the bud and development. In the second month, Ayurveda says that milk medicated with madhura or sheath dravya. So usually there is a kakulyadi, means some kind of group of herbs they have suggested, but which is very commonly now available is the licorice or yastimadu. Even the guduchi or giloi. So this is a very good for second month. So in second month, Ayurveda suggests the milk, little bit additional or medicated or cooked with either licorice or guduchi, means giloi. Definitely, if you are starting any of this, it's always better to have your Ayurvedic practitioner suggestion with you. So there should be your mentor or Ayurveda doctor who can check your pulse, assess, and say, yes, go for it. So second month, still development form. And this time of the life, the baby and mother, the best food is the milk with some sweet cooling effects. When you go for the third month, see, just within 8 weeks, you can see the development. Now the baby's size become like lemon, almost 2.5 inches. And even the baby started having little bit more sign of the life. So in Ayurveda, it says the third month, Sarvang Pratyang and Sarva Indriyas development started. So what is the Indriyas? It's the senses. So the third month, well, the senses of baby started developing. Baby just not sense you, started listening to you, started feeling you. You know, the touch, the environment, the smell, everything started affecting the baby. And that's why this is the month where mother should take care more about the external experiences and what she's investing in. So if you see first and second month, where there is still not that much of baby's development, we focus more on mother's mental health, her anxiety and everything towards the new beginning. But from third month in Ayurveda protocol, we focus more on the baby's feeling. In modern science, it says the 12 weeks, the baby's face started forming, sex organs started developing. Still, they are not easily accessible through the scan, but arms, fingers, leg, feet, everything, organ, tissues, it started developing. And the baby is almost 60 to 70 mm, 6 to 7 centimeter size, and the weight is around 12 to 14 gram. So still the raspberry size is the baby. And in the third month, in Ayurveda, it says the milk with honey and milk with ghee is a very good for mother. So in Ayurveda, it says that ghee and honey should never be equal quantity though. So if mother is taking the milk, make sure that ghee is 2 ml, then honey is 3 ml or might be 1 ml. If you don't like much sugar, if you're increasing ghee, if you're very dry, if you're taking ghee 5 ml, then honey should be 2 ml or 3 ml or vice versa. Okay, so that's about the first 3 months. Now we'll see this whole trimester overall. So in Ayurveda, it says that the first trimester is a high vata time. So if you see, the vata and pitta is highly imbalanced during this time. So usually the mother is more anxious. They might have bloating or constipation, which is very common for the first month. And even sometimes the vata pushes the pitta up. So the acid reflux or nausea or vomiting, which is acidic, which is sour, salty, bitter, is very common in first trimester. So that's usually with the vata and pitta imbalance. So in Ayurveda protocol, the first trimester, mother should take care more about vata and pitta balancing lifestyle. And if you see the milk, it balances vata and pitta both. And that's why milk, any substance which is sweet, which is cold, which is liquid, is highly recommended during the first trimester. In Ayurveda symptoms, Ayurveda books, even there is a description about what mother feels during the first trimester. And that is mainly shrama, it's the tiredness. Mother usually feel a lot of tiredness during the first trimester. Pipasa, lot of thirst. And shardi, it's the vomiting or nausea sensation. So in all these symptoms, milk is usually the ideal source to prevent the dehydration. And that's why also the milk is recommended. Though today we're going to show you some demo about how you can rehydrate yourself with the other options as well rather than the milk. There is so many cooling other stuff like a fennel. There is so much cooling thing like rose. There are so much cooling thing like a lemon, which helps in nausea and very good during the pregnancy. So we're gonna share some of the demo at end of our talk today, but they all are recommended highly during the first trimester. Even in Ayurveda, we say the milk is natural source of course, like vata, pitta balancing and protein and all this stuff. But even modern science says that milk is the source of folic acid, vitamins, minerals, enzymes, and which is very recommended for maternal nourishment. Even the calcium is a good source that we get from the milk. So in all the way, it's suggested. But as I mentioned, you can go for organic or A2 or non-dairy milk. Even from the third month itself, now the pitta started having imbalances as well. So we'll talk more about next slide. But during the first trimester in Ayurveda, it suggests that vata and pitta pacifying activities are highly recommended. So during the first trimester, a lot of things is happening. Try to avoid a lot of stressful activities. In Ayurveda, it says ati, anything in excess, any of the activities is not too advisable. So a lot of traveling, a lot of jumping, running, too much of cardio, right? Hiking. Better slow down in this activity during the first trimester. Of course, gentle exercise like gentle walking, prenatal yoga, these all are highly recommended. The activities which make you grounded, right? They are very good during the first trimester. So like a mountain pose, warrior pose, right? Tree pose. These all are the poses if you see in yoga, which is very grounded. So they are very good during the first trimester. Even in this time, at the week of 10, the modern science says the embryo becomes a fetus and it begins to move. Vital organs become the solid form, but during this time, the brain will produce almost 250,000 new neurons every minute. And this is called a neurogenesis. And this is the most susceptible to prenatal mental stress. And literally, female has to take care during the first trimester because most of the abortion risk and stress usually happen with this time of trimester. Yoga, meditation, and music. As I mentioned that from third trimester, all the senses of the baby started developing. So the soft music, the calming music is the best, not only for relaxation of the mother, but for the baby as well. So this is the time where the sounds or gentle calming music, meditation is highly recommended. Lots of water, and as I mentioned, the lemonade, rose drink, buttermilk, orange juice, this all helps with nausea and also help mother to feel cool. And try to minimize the hot, pungent, and spicy food. Try to eat light, easy, digestible food during this first trimester. Now we'll say the month, fourth month. And that is where the baby started developing little more from raspberry. The growth is like an avocado size. And if you see, the baby started developing more of the other development. So in Ayurveda, it says in the fourth month, it describes that the fourth month, various body parts become more observable. Stability to the fetus comes in this month. And this is the time where do hridaya avastha happen. Do means two, hridaya means heart, and avastha means condition. So till 3 months, of course, baby develops a lot, but from 4 months, the heart of the baby started developing more. And as we all know, heart is the place of emotion. Heart is the place of desires. Heart is it's so sensitive organ. So in Ayurveda, this trimester, we should take care a lot of the mother emotions, care of the mothership emotions, because it is not only the mother's emotions, but it is also the upcoming child emotion. When you see the modern science, it says that the manifestation of heart and consciousness associated with heart at the end of the 16 weeks. Babies start developing more of the reflexes, like a sucking, might be started sucking the thumb, swallowing, fingers and toes are very well defined, gender identification is very common, and the baby stage is about 12 centimeter long and the weight is 110 gram. Usually this is the time where baby started growing a little bit bigger suddenly, and that's why the mother might started feeling a lot of heaviness in her body. This is the time where Ayurveda emphasizes more on the protein part. It says that this is the time where mother need a lot of protein to develop the baby, and all the other muscles and all the organs need most of the protein. So if you are non-vegetarian, if you are not on a sattvic diet, meat soup is advisable in this time of the pregnancy. And if you're vegetarian, highly recommended the good amount of nuts and seeds and pulses during this time. Even with the milk, there is the modification that the milk with butter is advisable, because butter, if you see, there are a little bit more protein and a little bit more fat, which give a little more energy to mom. Now we'll talk a little bit more about Dohradaya Avastha. So I remember my grandma, when my first child, she started having salivation after the birth, and she commented, "Oh, you haven't eaten something what you desire for on your 5th month or 4th month." And I'm like, really? But that's just a traditional thing. But according to Ayurvedic point of view, it says that on the 4th month, mothers can started having the sudden craving, because now it's not only mother's choice, it's fetus heart and the mother's heart as well. So some of the things that mother might not like throughout the life, suddenly on the 4th month, she craves for it and she enjoys it, and might be afterwards throughout the pregnancy. And after delivery, might be not again. So this change is very common, because according to Ayurveda, from 4 months, the development of the fetus started, the heart started, and the new wishes can arise in the month. And because of the two heart situation, sometimes you can notice mother is very happy and suddenly without anything, she's depressed the next time or not too okay. And that's okay, because this is not only your heart, the new beginning life is now attached with mother. So it's better to honor whatever the emotional feeling you are going through from the 4th month, because sometimes it's not only mother, something more. And according to Ayurveda thinking, it's sometimes the kid carry the past life emotions as well. So mix of all this thing, but try to be very continuous with your spiritual practices to go past this time easily. If you see the 5th month, now from the size of avocado, baby become little bit bigger. According to Ayurveda, the 5th month, it's the increase in flesh and blood into the fetus. The mother may get thinner. The fetus gains the mind, like mana. It becomes enlightened and wakes up from the sleep of subconscious existence. And from the modern science, the fetus is quite active. It started kicking, turning. So this is the month where mother started noticing the child movement very much. You can put your hand and you can see your head is this side, and the next hour might be flipped. Even the feet, very easily sensible at this time. The head started more of the hair growth, and it started appearing the eyebrows, right? And it's also in the 20 weeks, the size of the baby is 16 centimeter long, and the weight is about 300 grams. In this time, the Ayurveda suggestion is ghee prepared with butter extract from milk. So again, the butter and ghee is highly recommended during 5th month. And Acharya also advised the ghee, because the ghee, as we all know, it's a clarified butter, but that is also Agni Pradipak, means it increased the digestion fire. And it's also increased the strength of the mother and baby. So from 2nd trimester, from 4 months onwards, the grit or ghee is highly recommended in pregnancy. Now, when we talk about the next month, is the 6th month, 2nd trimester, last month of the 2nd trimester. Baby started, the size is about 12 inches and the size of the cantaloupe. 6th month, Ayurveda says relatively more accumulation of energy and complexion. Mother may lose her strength because now suddenly baby started taking over so much of strength and energy from the mother. So usually the tiredness is very common during the 6th month. Even it says that it takes the complexion, or the fairness of the mother. So sometimes from 6th month, and even I have noticed, mother has started like becoming little hyperpigmentation. They started developing little hyperpigmentation or less dull complexion. Can be happen in this 6th month, just due to the hormonal changes and due to the kids' demand. And according to the modern, this is the time where eyebrows, eyelashes, immune system, everything started developing. Lungs started becoming developing. Still, they are not working on their own, but alveoli are forming, skin started becoming little red, and the baby is almost 21 centimeter long, and the weight is around 630 grams. And as I mentioned, now suddenly from avocado to it started having a cantaloupe size. So baby need lot of energy. So again, the milk is highly advisable with the grita, and also the drug of Madhura Grupa in 6 months respectively. Grita is ideal, means ghee is very good for intelligence. Intelligence is the it's the mind development. So ghee is very good for mind development, very good for memory, and very good for digestion, even eyesight and long life. And that's why from this month, as I mentioned, usually the ghee is the best for pregnant mother to take. Even in this month, Acharya Shushruta, which is another genius in Ayurveda, he has suggested that gokshura, means there is one Ayurvedic herb which is diuretic. So it says the gokshura siddha ghee, means grit is made out of gokshura, is very good during the 6th month. As I mentioned, usually the 6th month, females started having the water retention into the feet. Might be now not too frequent urination, and that started having little bit burden on the kidneys. So when you look at the gokshura, it is the kidney support herbal formula, which is very good for diuretic perspective. So it helps you to get rid of the excessive swelling. And it's also very good rasayana rejuvenating herb. So this is advisable in this month. But again, check with your Ayurvedic doctor or practitioner before starting it during this month. So water accumulation can take care just because of the Gokshara this month. So as you see, whole 4th, 5th, and 6th month, according to Ayurveda, that is the time when fire element is very strong in the mother. And that's why the heartburn, indigestion, right, difference of anger and irritation can be in the second trimester, high in second trimester. So this is the trimester when we have to do pitta pacifying. I mean to say cooling all the lifestyle to balance the doshas. So being in a cold pool or cold water, drink a lot of the cooling thing like cucumber, watermelon, right? Coconut water, highly advisable. Don't stay hungry. But second trimester, suddenly baby growth happen. So rather than eating 3 meals per day, second trimester, I'll highly recommend it 5 meals per day. So morning breakfast, mid-morning snack, lunch, evening snack, supper, and after that, even little bit milk with ghee or some of the other snack is highly advisable. So this is the time where suddenly the expansion of belly happens. So in Ayurveda, this is the time, the second trimester is the time where mother need to do a lot of self-abhyanga. So many times with the first trimester, it's hard to recognize even you are pregnant or not. But second trimester, yes, baby bump, even the development of the hips or breast or all over the body, it started developing a little bit more fat. So now with the oil application, if you do keep doing the oil application to your body and especially around the belly, it will help to prevent the stretch marks. Even for the mom, I would say this month, take care, don't scratch your belly too much. Okay. And if you have a specifically craving during this time, it's better to honor them. Okay, try to avoid fried, excessive spicy, or acidic food during this time. And with the activities, all the calming, grounding activity is also very advisable in second month. But according to modern science and Ayurveda science, this is the time which is the safest time of pregnancy. So if you want to do something very special during this time, like want to do some traveling, one of my client, I remember she loves dolphin and she booked something with the dolphins during this time just to have the experience in the water, which is cooling with her favorite animal, and amazing thing to do at this time. So any of the pitta balancing thing, but at the same time, traveling is safe during this time, but definitely too much of jumping and hiking and vigorous exercise is yet not safe. But if you want to take vacation, if you want to take some great time, this is the great time. So try to balance the pitta during this time and do according to your comfort zone. Now, when you go to the 7th month, now the baby is like a big eggplant. This is not the small one, it's the big one, right? And even if you see this time, according to Ayurveda, all the fetus muscles, blood vessels, everything developed. Baby started getting enough proper nourishment. Major and minor, all the part of bodies started developing and fully developed. And according to the modern science, eyes started partially open, the skin formation started happening. Baby is 25 centimeter long and weight is about 110 grams. And this is the time when, if the baby born, it will be considered as a premature. But all the development of the baby is happened so far. But to survive on this real world, they need some extra support. So still there is not strong immune system. Definitely the skin layer is becoming, but it's not still strong. The organs are developed, but not thrive at the fullest. So if somebody delivers the babies this time, usually they have to be in neonatal ICU care or something, to pass some few days and months to develop the baby again thrive at the fullest. So this time, if somebody delivers the baby, it's a premature baby. Of course, it can survive. Again, the question about immunity and mother's food and stress, everything during this time, but it needs the special care. This is the time when all the development starts in the womb, and now it's more about the baby. So this month, mother need a lot of calcium. It need a lot of protein, because this time it says that fetus drain out 2/3 of total calcium from the mother, 3/5 total protein from the mother, 4/5 total iron from the mother. And there where mother need to be very careful, that is she taking proper protein, proper calcium, proper iron, and if she is deficient in any of them, she need to take some extra supplement to meet the demand, not only the baby, but for herself as well. And in 7th month, usually the kshira means milk with some of the cooling herbs, and also the ghee is advisable. And now when we talk about the 8th trimester, this is the 32 week of the pregnancy, where the baby size become like the green coconut. It's like a small Care Bear, right? So 8 month, due to immaturity of the fetus, the ojas remains unstable. So this is Ayurveda perspective, that ojas is the extract of all the tissues in our body. In other terms, I also consider ojas as a prana, because it is mainly for liveliness, right? So according to Ayurveda, 8 month, ojas shift between mother and baby. So that's why sometimes mother is very happy, and the other moment she can be very dull, alternatively. Because when ojas is in the mother, she feels so much energy, she's so active, she's so positive. But when ojas is into the baby, mother might feel dull or sluggish or sorrow. So joy and sorrow, alternatively, is very common during the 8th month. And in Ayurveda, it says that if baby deliver at this time, he still need outside support, because it can't sustain by their own. So in Ayurveda books, it says the 8-month pregnancy is still little risky. When you see the modern medicine, it says that during the 8th month, overall growth of the baby is very rapid. Brain growth occurs tremendously during this time. Most body organ is developed, except the lung. And movements or kicks are very strong and even visible from the outside. So if somebody sit around with the pregnant mother 8 months, she can see the kick of the baby, that hard he can kick or she can kick, and we say, soccer player, hey? Skin's forming better. Baby is about 28 centimeter long, and the weight is around 1800 grams. And according to this time, in Ayurveda, it says the rice cooked with milk and cooked with ghee is very good. So now the ghee and milk only is not sufficient. She has to take extra rice as well. And during the 8th month, highly recommended is the enema therapy. Because according to Ayurveda, this is the high time of Vata. Vata is the movement energy into your body. So during the last trimester, the Vata or movement energy is high, and it can create constipation, and it can also affect the natural childbirth process. So this time, mother should not be constipated. And that's why in previous time, they used to do some enema therapy during the pregnancy, especially during the 8th month. And it also helped to regulating the labor as well. And now when we go to the 9th month, almost around 36, even you can say 38 week of the pregnancy, where the baby is almost fully developed. And now it is the size of the butternut. So this is the time where you need to prepare for your baby's, your delivery. So I'll say bag your pack. Sorry, pack your bag. If you have to rush to the clinic or you have to call the doula, you should be ready with your birth preparations. And 9 months is the time to deliver the fetus. According to the modern science, end of the 9 month, baby is fully developed and can usually survive outside of mother's body. Lung are matured, testes come into the scrotum, palpable, and fingernail reach beyond the fingertips. Baby is 32 to 36 centimeter long, and the usual weight of the baby is around 2,500 gram to 3,400 gram. And usually this is the time where baby started settling down into the, to prepare for the birth. So with the prime means first pregnancy, usually before 14 days, baby start fixing her head. With second pregnancy, sometimes it happens at the end. At the 9 month, this is the time where your body needs a lot of oil. Externally, internally. And as I mentioned, to have a regular childbirth, we need to balance the vata. So this is the time where in Ayurveda, yoni pichu is advisable. Yoni is vagina, and pichu means douche or kind of tampon. So some cotton, soak it into the coconut, and just insert it into the vagina. Or you can take the tampon, soak it into the oil, and just insert into the vagina during this 9th month. It lubricates the vaginal tract. So according to Ayurveda, if something very dry and something want to come out from this, it's little hard. But if whole this path is lubricated, and if baby has to travel through this path, it's easier. So that's why the yoni pichu is advisable, but definitely, as I mentioned, for this all suggestions, you have to be careful. Meet your Ayurvedic doctor or practitioner and see that you are okay or stable enough to do that stuff or not. And right now, within half hour, I'm trying to space the information, so it's not too precise, but just lubrication. If you are not too expert in doing the vaginal stuff or confident, you can just take some oil and apply it into the vagina, right? And that's also help you to prepare for the birth of the baby. And I usually choose the coconut oil because it is antibacterial as well. So it usually helps to lubricate the area. If any bacteria or any infection develops, it usually helps. And it also balances the apan vata. So it helps labor to have little obstructed. According to Ayurveda, the 3rd trimester, which is very good, very high in kapha. So the 1st trimester, high in vata and little pitta. 2nd trimester, high in pitta. And the 3rd trimester is very high in kapha. So during this time, the female started feeling heavy, stuck, right? They can't move so nice, so quickly. So they started being slow, right? They started feeling sometimes stuck because baby is too big to move quickly. And swollen food and, this small swollen feet, weight gain, which all are high kapha things usually happens during the last trimester. This is the time when kapha pacifying food is advisable. And usually in Ayurveda, the easily digestible food, like a khichdi diet or rice, is highly advisable. And with the spices like cardamom, cumin, fennel, even little bit of dry ginger, saffron. This all is highly advisable in the last trimester. According to the yoga and activity, the hip opening exercises, right, and back strengthening exercises are very much recommended. In Ayurveda, it says that this is the time where it says, let her hear good news, let her hear harmonious music, let her eat sweet food, let her attend monthly celebrations to keep uplifted and nourished. Because this is the time where, because of the less activity, because of the sudden weight gain, some of the mother are not happy. And we need to boost up the external environment to support her. In the first trimester, the melodious music is very good. In this trimester, the classical music, it is helping a lot in child's development. Even there are many research happen. It says that music usually help to develop the brain cell of the baby. So it also prevents the preterm premature deliveries. So basically, this is the time where classical music or harmonious music is very much suggestible. The pranayama, especially the Anulom Vilom Pranayama, Yoga Nidra, Ujjayi breath, they are highly recommended during this time. Even the mantra are very effective during the whole pregnancy. And as I mentioned, 4th month, kids started developing so many her own or its own senses. I want to share one of my experience. When I was 4 months pregnant with my first baby, my husband started putting his hands over my belly and chanted regularly, like, oh, 10 to 11 to 21 time om chanting, and then he do some of the prayers, and that was the daily ritual for us till my delivery. And after my delivery, the first night, I was so exhausted and might be not able to take my kid. And at that time, my husband took him and he started chanting, oh. And surprisingly, baby feels like he knows him, because that 5-month connection daily with him, he was so calm and he slept in his arm. And that happened with my second kid as well. So it's really has a very strong bonding from the father and kid from the 4th month. And also it increased too much of, because the mantras are sound, which affects in development, right? So it usually help a lot with child's development. So mantras are highly recommended. Mother can chant it, and even father can chant for the mother and baby. And there are some of the activities in Ayurveda, it says, which is garbho ghatak, means which is not too good for the mother to do. So try to minimize that activity. And these activities are like too much strong, oily, spicy food, dried food, stale food. Try to eat the fresh. Too much of heavy digested food, too little food, or too much food, even not advisable during the whole pregnancy. Alcohol, tobacco, caffeine, try to minimize as much as you can. Especially alcohol and tobacco, I say it's better not to have it during the pregnancy. All the heavy exercises, violent movies, excessive satiation, excessive emaciation like vomiting, sleeping in a day, late night sleep, this all is not too much recommended for the mother. I say the pregnancy is the time where mother need to be little disciplined about the food choices, sleep, because that all affect the upcoming child. So sitting in uneven places, foul smell around her, not clean environment, hygiene environment, not too good for the mother. Even the fasting is not advisable during the pregnancy. Too much anger, too much grief, too much crying, attending the cremation, or prolonged stay near the fire or hot sun, not too good for mother. So try to minimize that all. Try not to see too much unhappy, emotional drama, movies, right? It says usually this is the best time to invest in spiritual books, because that give the, you can educate the kid from the womb. If you know a little bit of Mahabharata, it says that Abhimanyu means that is the very great warrior. It learned its fighting ideas from the mothers when he was inside the mother. And just like that, any of thing, what you read, what you listen, child started absorbing it. So be very mindful during the whole pregnancy, what you are reading, what you are listening, what you are watching, because it has impact on upcoming baby. And if you see, there are some of the dravyas, means herbs, that usually are very good, recommended highly with the mother. So of course, milk and ghee. But if you see this slide, there is a very good herb which is called as a shatavari. It's Asparagus racemosa, it's the Latin name. And shatavari strengthens the uterus from preconception to pregnancy and after delivery, even for breastfeeding. This is the best herb. It usually supports the breastfeeding, and it's also helped to shape up the uterus very quickly after the delivery and maintain the hormones very quickly. Rich in folic acid, rich in calcium, iron, vitamin B6, vitamin K, and vitamin E. So shatavari is usually a very effective herb during the pregnancy. But again, meet your Ayurvedic doctor and make sure that you are okay to have it. And the other very good herb is the Brahmi. So the botanical name of Brahmi is a Bacopa monera. And Brahmi is very good for mind development, for focus, for memory, for concentration. And it says that when baby's brain is developing, Brahmi is usually helpful during the pregnancy. But make sure with your Ayurvedic doctor that you are safe to take it during the pregnancy or not. And now we all talk about what is the development, what is Ayurveda perspective, but now we'll hand over to the end to discuss about what are the good rejuvenating drink that everybody should, or all the women should try during the first trimester.
Thank you, Priti. That was
I have a question.
a lot of information there, and it was great. I'm just trying to make sure that you can see the table actually more than me. I think we've got more of me than the table. There we are. Great. I've got my head off now. That's not sorry. There we are. Does that feel good? And can you plug me in with the mic? So that they can get the sound. At the top. I'm not sure I'm on actually. How's the sound? Could somebody, Louis, can you tell me how the sound is?
Sounds good. Go for it. Sounds good.
Priti, can you hear me? I just want to make sure.
I can.
Yeah. It's
I
fine,
can hear
Annie.
you.
It's fine.
Okay. I'm just trying with my mic, just to see. Is it now? Don't think they're hearing. No. Okay.
Is that good? Was it good?
Yes.
Better with the mic?
Better.
Okay.
Okay. So. Right. So just before I start on the drinks for morning sickness, which I wish I'd known when I was pregnant in the 1960s. It would have helped me. Just a little word, somebody brought up a question on the screen about milk and saying how it's pasteurized and homogenized isn't good. So we have some tips there for you that you can get around this. One is, of course, is only to take organic milk. If you can get raw milk, and some people can get it now, we can here in France, we're very lucky at a local market, we pick up beautiful raw milk, and try and get A2 milk as well, because it's much more digestible for us. It's much nearer mother's milk that we would naturally take ourselves. And one way of getting over homogenized milk is very clever. This was taught to me by my tutor, Isha Oakes, is to take 1% organic milk and get some organic cream, and then put the cream back into the milk. We only need about 3%, so you don't need to have a lot. But that solves the problem of homogenized milk, which isn't good for us, we know. So those are the few tips on milk I thought I'd just add in. Right, okay, so I've got 3 drinks for you now. The first one is lemonade, straight lemonade. So what we're going to do, we're going to add half a lemon. I've already got it ready, so that's going in, that's done. I'm going to add 1 to 2 teaspoons of sugar. It depends on your own need. I'm not a very sweet tooth, so I'm only going to put a little bit in. What else am I going to put in there? I'm going to put a pinch of ginger, just to spice it up a little bit. And then I'm going to put some mint leaves in it. You can chop those as well if you want. And the other thing I'm going to use is just a little bit of salt. Now here I'm using pink salt. This is Himalayan pink salt. Maybe Sri Sri Tattva sells that, I'm not sure. I haven't looked up. Now sea salts are getting very impure, so we go for the salts coming from the ground, basically, rock salt. And Himalayan pink salt is one of the nicest. I think it's not so strong and strong for us and pitterish. So that's your first one. That's the lemonade. You can take that in the morning, and it will help that nausea that comes up, which can be very debilitating actually, and can make you very tired. So for those who are around pregnant ladies, they can say, here you are, take this, this will help. Okay, that's the first one. The second one is a very simple one. I'm going to take a glass of water, and I'm going to add a teaspoonful of fennel, just a teaspoonful. And then I'm going to add a little bit of sugar to taste, again, depending on your own preference. And again, a little bit of salt, just to at the touch. And then we can drink that one. Cheers. And the third one is a little bit more complicated. We're going to take 150 mils of water, which is actually, I've weighed it out, measured it out, so I know what I've got. That's a glass full, is 150 mils. And I'm going to take, this is about 2 teaspoons, maybe a tablespoon. It's about an ounce or 25 grams of yogurt. Again, I'm using organic yogurt. I'm out here in France, and I'm able to get the most wonderful organic fresh yogurt that you can't imagine how good it is. We can get it as cows, ewes, or goats yogurt, believe it or not. So that one is there. I'm going to add a pinch of salt to that too. And what we add to this one, this is called a lassi, where we're taking a lot of water and a little yogurt, and it's very, very digestible. We're going to take just 1/4 teaspoon of roasted cumin. Now, that is it. Now you need to give that a really good stir so you get it well mixed in together. And that you can take after your meals, particularly your lunchtime meal. It will really help your digestion. And if your digestion is good and strong, you won't get so nauseous. Okay, so that's going to go away. That's the 3 I've got there. I think that was it, wasn't it? Oh yes, what I wanted to say was, if you want to roast any grain, take have a small coffee grinder available. These are really good.
Get your grains organic again, because the flavor is and the quality of them is so different. And all you need to do is take some of the grains in a pot on the stove, on a little frying pan, and just fry it gently until you can smell the aroma coming off. That means it's cooked enough. And then you put it in the grinder and grind it up. And you'll see how much better that is for you, how much stronger and how much nicer it tastes too. And it keeps well as well. So you can have them in these little pots with a little lid on top, keep it out of the light, out of the sun and the light, and you have your spices all ready to go. You don't need to do them every time. And I think that's all I have to say on this part of the subject. Okay. Could we have, Louis, if we have questions for Kriti, that would be really nice if we can do that now.
Yes, so there is one question. How much milk is recommended? Is it okay to take 1 glass of coffee in milk?
Okay, so according to Ayurveda, each and every person's
Unplug because I can't hear them.
digestion fire is different. So there are 3 categories of people's digestion that commonly in Ayurveda advised. One is the mrudu coast, means the digestion is very sensitive, and these people can get diarrhea with the milk. So if you are one of that person whose digestion is very sensitive and can't digest the milk, go for a very small quantity, like 50 ml of milk and little bit of water. There is the second category of people whose digestion koshta, means the digestion is medium. They can moderately digest most of the stuff, not too constipated or not often diarrhea. These are the normal digestion fire. If you have that strong digestion, moderation, then you can have 1 to 2 glasses of milk per day, which is around 300 ml per day. And the third category of the people where the digestion is very krura, means very cruel or very strong. Usually these people are very much on constipation side. They are usually constipated and their body is so dry, and they can handle too much of any of the stronger stuff like dairy. So if you are cruda costa, you can even have a little bit more, like 300 to 400 ml or 500 ml of milk per day. Say, so person to person, digestion to digestion, the milk quantity changes, but I usually say 1 glass per day or 2 glasses per day is okay. Caffeine, as I already mentioned, that it's not too good during the pregnancy, but if you are like hooked up with the coffee, then rather than having just a caffeine in the water, it's better to add it with the milk, which hasn't too much effect on nervous stimulation, and you can enjoy that, but small quantity. So might be not too strong coffee, just a 1/4 teaspoon or 1/2 teaspoon with the milk.
All right, thank you, Preeti. So Jonathan, you have your hand raised. So if you want, you can unmute yourself. If not, we have more questions here. Yes, Jonathan, go ahead.
So you can hear me right?
Yes.
So I had 2 questions. The first one is premature babies.
What causes premature birth?
Premature, there are a lot of causes, right? So as you say, it can be emotional health, it can be physical health, right? It can be too much of stress, it can be too much of spicy and heat in the body as well, right? So if we talk about premature birth, it can be whole 1 hour next, but I would say the imbalance, physical, mental, or emotional health can create premature birth.
And
Okay.
and it happens primarily from a Vata imbalance or a Pitta imbalance, or like a mix of the 3 of them.
It can be any of them, but usually with the high Vata or high Pitta imbalance.
Okay.
Right? And as Charakacharya also already mentioned, it's like handling the oil-filled vessel, right? You can easily drop anything. The mother is like that.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay. And the other question is, I mean, it's quite different. So the other one is related to the different stages. You were talking about like a different stage is like the focus is in a different point, right? And like, but my question is like, all the different stuff that, so like, although each stage is like focusing one thing, all everything happening at the same time, right? So it's like just we will see one thing more than others.
Yes, exactly. So as you know, that whole pregnancy is mother need to be more disciplined and taken care more, because anything can happen, right? So that's why lifestyle recommendation, eating on time, sleeping on time, having a good choices, not having too much of stimulant activity, right? Too much vigorous activity, it's all the no. But even with that, there are a prominency of having more vata imbalance during the first trimester, more pitta imbalance during the second trimester, and more vata, kapha in the last trimester. So as we say in age, during our age even, there is a prominency of doshas, right? Childhood mostly kapha dosha prominent, young age is mostly pitta prominent, and child like later age is high vata. Same like with child development, each and every trimester, there are prominency of doshas. It doesn't mean that you should not worry about the other stuff, but focus more on the food choices and lifestyle during that particular dosha, but be disciplined with your dincharya and daily techniques to balance the other stuff as well.
Okay. And my third, sorry. um, okay, so this one is regarding treatment, right? So it's like if the mother is going through, some emotions, for whatever reason, like either we don't know if it's actually from the baby or it's actually the mother. So either way, what are the main treatments that the mother can actually receive to help that?
Hey, so mother just needs support. We need this assurance that this time will go. And I'm very happy as a partner, you are so keen to support your partner. So though whatever the emotion is, just be with her. That's what she needs. Just cuddle her and make sure that this all the emotions will go. Either it's from the mother or the baby. Okay, so take her for a walk, just change the mood, right? Do some meditation or play some music, take her for ice cream or long drive. This all are the external support that what you can do.
Okay. Okay.
Okay?
So the normal massage is like also, but for that we need to talk with the doctor, right? Thank you, Preeti.
Pleasure.
All right, Snehal, you want to ask?
Yes, yes. Hi, Preeti. Thank you so much for this wonderful session. I'm in the 8th month. I'm pregnant. Yeah, and I did some courses in from Bangalore Ashram. They were online with Dr. Divya Rangres. So yeah, but I need to consult you like for online pulse diagnosis. I have never done in the pregnancy. Before that, I used to do it, but I was just so much into it, and the timings in Bangalore were not matching mine. So I need to consult with you. So please provide your the procedure for appointment with you. And also another question is, I'm taking milk, A2 milk. It is ultra pasteurized, but I didn't get any other option. So I couldn't do the butter at home. somehow because it's only me and my husband, and we were just busy with making cooking and all sattvic food. So how to make butter or make it? Can you suggest anything here in US?
No problem. I can understand, two people and new babies coming and a lot of things, right? So at least you
Yeah.
are doing one, you are choosing the right milk. So I would say
Yeah.
great. Okay. Second, you
Okay.
can make your butter home from whipping cream, right? So you have to
Okay.
churn the whipping cream and whatever the makhan come on upside, that's the butter, right? But I
Okay.
usually say that here in North America, you get the good grass-fed organic butter as well.
Yeah, I'm using that. Yeah.
Yes, so you need to take that, and from the butter, you can make ghee at home very quickly.
So ghee, I'm actually already I was using it from Ashish ghee. I'm buying it online. I get it on Amazon. So I think it comes from India only most of the times. So I have a lot of ghee, and I'm already I was into it. So that's not a problem. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. You're doing that all the stuff. Don't worry, right? Just
Yeah.
get the grass-fed organic butter. Little
Okay.
easier for you.
Okay.
And for my detail for consultation, Anne will hook you up with the AMI team so she can
Okay.
guide you further what we can do. Okay.
Sure.
Thank you so
Sure.
much.
Okay.
All the best. I'm very
Yeah.
happy for
Thank
you.
you. Yeah, and I'm also doing the silence courses almost every month. So I'm enjoying that a lot. Yeah.
That's awesome. You're already pro. You are doing so much. Amazing. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sneha. So double S, do you have a question?
Hi, thank you for the great session, Preeti ji, and it was really good, very good information. I just have a question, like, do you suggest any, like, how many Shatavari tablets to take per day? And the second question is, you said Brahmi tablets can be taken in which month and how much?
So basically, what's your good name? Sneha?
Yeah.
Okay, so Sneha, Shatavari is usually recommended if you are taking Shri Shri Shatavari 500 mg, one tablet twice a day with water after food. But as I mentioned, sometimes during the pregnancy, it's better to consult your Ayurvedic doctor parallel to this to make sure that you are okay, right? I can't do this. I can't suggest the recommendation of the herb like this. And
Yeah.
Brahmi, usually in Ayurveda, it's recommended after 4th month of the pregnancy. But again, it's one tablet per day or two tablet, 500 mg usually per day, once or twice a day. But again, make sure with your Ayurvedic doctor that you are safe to take it. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we have another question here. Are there any spices that should be avoided during pregnancy?
Okay, very good question. As you know that usually with the first trimester, any hot spices, which is very strong and pungent. So we say just general idea that smell the spices. If they have a gentle aroma, like a cardamom, cumin, fennel, lemongrass, thyme, they are safe during all the time. And especially it's highly recommended during the first trimester of the pregnancy. But the spices, if you smell it, they are very strong and pungent, like too much of garlic, too much of ginger, too much of cinnamon, too much of curry masala or garam masala. Usually it should be minimized from the first trimester with the and during the second trimester as well, right? Because first and second trimester can be a pitta prominence. So very strong spices, cinnamon, dry ginger, what do you say, too much mustards or garlic, garam masala, curry masala should be minimized during the first and second trimester. Okay.
Okay, there's another question. Is Kirbala oil advisable for mother and baby?
Yes, it is very good. If you see kheer, that is the milk, and bala is the strengthening herb. So basically, kheer bala is very good for local application for the mother and for the baby. So, it's gentle if you do the gentle massage with kheer bala oil around the belly, just like during the thighs, and self abhyanga with the kheer bala oil. It's very, very much suggested for the mother. For the baby, when after delivery, if you are doing the massage to baby, definitely we're gonna have a whole the section about it, like postnatal care. But kheer bala is also good. But first beginning, what 1 to 3 months, I usually go for very simple oil like coconut oil or olive oil for the baby. But after 3 months, when your baby is old, you can use kheer bala oil.
Very good. Another question, if the mom was lonely with no one to care and support and has been stressed during her entire pregnancy, how would this affect the baby's mental state?
So again, sometimes the situations are beyond our control. So mother, I even remember some of my situation during my pregnancy where I freaked out or I can't control myself. But whenever the moment I realize myself, I take a deep breath in and I tell my baby, it's okay, it's not for you, it's for that person. Right? So little bit small awareness during the pregnancy helps. But when you say that how badly it affects the baby, I would say if you're already passing this situation and you have done this, just pray for the best. Right? Sometimes it can affect the emotional health, mental health, their confidence level of the baby. So being a single mother, it doesn't mean that you are lonely. You have your own self with the baby. What else you need? But you have to be a little strong from inside. Right? Okay. So don't worry about side effect, but focus what you can do to minimize that. Okay.
There is one last question. When you are a healer, meditation teacher, is it still okay to continue with this work since we are exposed to other people's emotions and stresses?
Yes. So it's totally depend upon how you feel with your healing practice. According to me, whenever I'm giving something, I'm rejuvenating. So I can't stop it. Right? So how your energy level and how strong your aura is depend upon that. But I usually say that whenever you are giving, after end of the day, when you come to your home, just do some self massage to get rid of all the negative vibes that you accumulate from other people. So self massage with the oil is key if you are keep working as a meditator or healer. And the second thing is salt. In Ayurveda, it says salt just take off all the negativity. So just take a little bit salt, put it in the water, and just head to toe wash. Just rinse yourself with that salt water, and usually you are okay. So I recommend not to stop it, but take some extra care for yourself.